What's up, guys and gals? My name's Joy, and today this is our review for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, disclaimer real quick, let's go back to the Red Dead Redemption 2 review and talk about something that I did forget to mention. I did say that a lot of fucking new generation gamers tend to cry about the dumbest shit. So when Red Dead 2 came out, obviously a lot of people were bitching about the damn controls and how wonky and unresponsive, they just felt weird. And dude, if you play GTA 5, they're basically the same. And I also went on to say that shows the lack of new generation gamers IQ, because they're bitching about the dumbest thing I could ever think of, which they pretty much did, right? I felt the controls on Red Dead Redemption 2, for that matter, were fine. If you play GTA 5, they're not very much different there. There's some animations that might get stuck or whatever, but that's nothing a patch can't fix. So a lot of people complaining about the damn controls are just complaining to complain. And that's really it. So if they couldn't get past that part, they shouldn't be playing games to begin with. They should be playing with their fucking asshole and sniffing their damn fingers. That's what they should be doing. Anyways, moving forward. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The review. Okay, where do I start? This game I wasn't really excited for. Having played Origins and giving Origins the brutal beating that I did, as much as I did enjoy Origins, I think I gave it a 5 out of 10. If I remember correctly, I don't remember correctly. So if somebody in the comments can tell me, Joy, you gave AC Origins 5 out of 10, go back to the review I did if I did do a review on it and tell me what it was, because I'm busy and I have things I gotta do. But if you would be so kind as to leave it in the comments of what I gave that game, I'd appreciate it. Now, moving forward. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So again, not on the top of my list. I did pick it up though, because I did enjoy Origins and I was looking forward to the new RPG elements in Odyssey. Unfortunately, Ubisoft fell into the same traps that Origins had. So what do I mean by this? Well, later on in the game, you start to realize every island is the fucking same. Every island's got forts and camps and forts and camps and forts and camps and forts and camps. Oh my god, you could say that over and over and over and over and over a million times over, and you would want to kill yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much what Odyssey has. It's got the same repetitive crap on every island that you go to that it just makes me want to blow my head off. Because it's boring. It gets boring after a while. That's why. That's why it gets boring. And that hurts the game. Now, as for the story, it didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed story. I'm sorry. It felt like I'm a Spartan, you're an Athenian, we're in peacetime right now, we'll talk, and then 2 seconds later we'll have a conquest battle and we'll kill each other. And unfortunately for me, Odyssey, the only implementation that's new, a new feature in Odyssey that I wouldn't even call it new, but the only system in Odyssey that is somewhat new is the conquest battles. The conquest battles themselves are like the only feature that I saw in the entire game. I know a lot of people are like, but they added the RPG system to the game. They added more gear customization and stuff. Yeah, they did, but so did Shadow of War and so did Fallout and all these other games that have done it 10 times over already. It's been done to death. That's not a new feature for Assassin's Creed if it's been done by every other game in the genre. Sorry. That means Assassin's Creed is late to the party. That's all it means. So, Odyssey's conquest battles, again, they serve no purpose. They've got really no point. Unlike Shadow of War, where the siege battles actually have a point to them. You've taken the fort back or you're defending the fort from an attack. Whereas in Odyssey, conquest battles, it's just, alright, deplete the red bar, deplete the blue bar, get a bunch of XP and get some purple items that will become useless once you get your exotic or yellow items anyways. Ancient Greece. Now the world in Odyssey, the world obviously looks really good, just like Origins. It looks beautiful, but like Origins, there's not much really to interact with or do in the game other than side content missions, etc. Side missions, whatever. That's it. There is a bounty system in the game, obviously, as you can see at the bottom of my screen on the right. That's cool up until you kill all the good mercenaries with the good loot, and then you're just fighting mercenaries with blue loot, and it's pointless. Ship combat's also good, but not as good as Black Flag, meaning you can't go inside your ship like in Black Flag. obviously no cannon fire. It's just arrows and fire arrows, and you know the time setting fits with how it was back then. But it's not, the ship customization isn't as deep, I would say, as Black Flag, and that's also a disappointment. The ship combat is still good. It's still like Black Flag. They just poured it over the Black Flag combat, really. That's all they did. And then they took away the cannons, stripped the ship down to make it a trireme, and then put arrows and crew members on it. And that's all they did. So yeah, this game for me was just okay. I was really pushing it. I didn't use XP boosters or anything for this game. I just grinded to 50. I did hit 50 in this game. This is a screenshot I took when I hit Athens at 13, so that was pretty cool. But I ended up hitting 50 in this game within like the first week I got it, without XP boosters and whatever. And I had to farm a lot of conquest battles, let me tell you. And that's part of the reason why I kind of hate this game, is because at a certain point, unless you buy an XP, so the microtransactions, unless you buy an XP booster, you're stuck running the same conquest battle over and over. You know, like you're just spamming conquest battles because they give you like 30k XP or some shit. The higher your level, the more XP you get for conquest battles. So that's really all I was doing. I wasn't doing really any side missions. I was just constantly spamming conquest battles to level. It's really, it just kind of drags on at the end to hit 50, and it just it gets boring very quickly. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey, aside from the conquest battles being pointless and the world interactions being really pointless and not much to do on all the different islands other than fort and bandit camp crap again, how is this game? Well, there are, you know, like there are lions and stuff and whatever, but again, they're not challenging. They're not like Dark Souls encounters, just random mobs in Dark Souls 3 or something. The animals in this game don't present a challenge. But other than that, the combat, I liked some of the changes to the combat and the animations. That's cool, I guess, but it didn't like throw me over the edge of being like, oh my god, I gotta play this every day of my life. No, I actually uninstalled after I hit 50. So what else? There's not much else to talk about. I mean, if you played Origins, you played this game. There's really not much else to talk about. I can't, like, that's why I keep saying because I can't like think of anything else. What else does this game bring to the table? What does it do? It's different. That makes it stand apart from Origins and Black Flag. And if you think about it, the answer is fucking nothing. It does nothing. The only difference is the setting. The setting takes place in ancient Greece, and that's why everyone's praising the game, because they just got off the God of War hype train, if we're being honest, and that's really it. Which, honestly, that new God of War, to me, also was shit. I didn't like it. And I beat that game as well. I beat it in, like, less than a day. I think it took me, like, 6 hours to completely 100% that game. Like, no joke. Not 100% it, but you get my point. Like, get the best gear, get the best items, get the best trinkets, you know, all that crap. Yeah, the stuff that matters. So, Odyssey doesn't really do anything different from Origins, except add conquest battles, which again they have no meaning. They have no pizzazz to them. They don't do anything other than give you XP and purple gear, and that's it. They do nothing else. So, my score for Assassin's Creed Odyssey is going to be a 3 out of 10. That's really low. That's not even a 5. Damn, son. You sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Having played Origins and going through the motions with that game and looking so forward to that game, I felt Odyssey was just a copy-pasted Origins with a few minor tweaks to systems that people had issues with in Origins, and then they sold it to you for $60. The world is gorgeous, obviously. That's a no-brainer, but I'm not playing games for gorgeous worlds. I would take shit graphics any day of the fucking week if it meant that the gameplay was enjoyable across the board. And unfortunately, games don't do that anymore. They really don't. Red Dead 2, a great game, right? I just reviewed that game. An example, if we're going to go back on that real quick. That game, while it's a great single-player game, just like GTA 5 was in some of its elements, it has problems. It does. And one of those problems is there's no online mode. People say the controls are clunky, which I didn't have an issue with because I played GTA fucking 5. They say it's boring. Yeah, the tutorial of Red Dead 2 is very boring. It's very long, lengthy, and can be overwhelming at times, meaning it's there for too long or whatever. But once you get into it, it actually does pick up, and you start to feel like you're making progress in the game, and you want to get some of the characters you might not have liked at the beginning of the game, you start to like by the end of the game, because they start developing really well, and then the game kind of ends, and you're like, no! In Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I couldn't get that feeling at all. I just didn't care. Most of the cutscenes and story stuff I skipped, unless it was with a major like Greek character like Socrates or somebody, right? But if it was like anyone else, I didn't really give a shit. I was skipping cutscenes because it was like, yeah, yeah. Okay, so you want me to find your cattle now, correct? Oh, okay. I'll go find your cattle then. Like, they just don't shut up in the game. And they got boring to listen to, so I skipped it. And that's not, like I said, I didn't do that for every quest. I did listen to a lot of certain quests, and some of the quests in Odyssey I did enjoy a lot more than others, but God, it's boring. It is really fucking tedious and boring at times. And that's sad, because it takes place in ancient Greece, but you know, if you don't make an interesting ancient Greek game, then you failed, right? God of War succeeds because God of War has ancient mythology and Greek bosses, which Assassin's Creed Origins and obviously Odyssey are trying to implement more and more, but they keep going back to the Assassin's Creed, realistic, based on historical events. And that's what kills the entire game. That right there. Take off Assassin's Creed, just call this Greece or Spartan or something, call it a different name, and I'd be okay with that, because then you have room to make more creative decisions, right? You have room to add more mythical beasts and do more crazy shit that would make your game more interesting and fun to the player. Instead, it's like, we're going off real history. Dude, watch a history documentary on YouTube if you want real history. It does it better than Ubisoft. Okay? Okay. With that said, my name's been Joy. That's my review of AC Odyssey. I just, just because I gave it a 3 doesn't mean I hated this game. I did enjoy some parts of it, and I enjoyed the world, obviously, but like Origins, there's not fucking much to do in the world itself while you're playing, unless you're doing a side quest, side mission, a bounty, or whatever, etc. And even then, they just feel like tedium. They feel like chores. They do not feel fun at all. And there's just no life. There's no pizzazz to the game. After a while, you'll start noticing fort repetition, bandit camp repetition, jumping off the things into the hay again repetition. The same shit you deal with every year in Assassin's Creed, and that really hurts it. Now, by the end of the game, obviously, it did the story and the character. I started caring a little bit more, but again, that was at the end of the game. Like, literally, at the end of the fucking game, I started to give a shit. Why? Maybe because the writing was getting better by the end of the game? I don't know, but that's when I started caring. That's bad, okay? That's really fucking bad. Terrible. So, 3 out of 10 for me. It just felt like they threw a bunch of systems together and didn't know what the fuck they wanted to do with this game. Yep, that's it for me. 3 out of 10, guys. My name's been Joy. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you next time.